Well, evening guys. It's early March 22. For those of you who might have caught up with this video a bit late in the day, sorry about the wind, nothing I can do about that. It's with a heavy heart that I have to tell you, because I now live in Greece, the boat is becoming a bit of a problem. The moorings and stuff are expensive when you're living in two places. I mean, it's quite cheap here normally, but when you've got two places to live, quite expensive. So I decided to sell Sovereign Bay, and I'm going to show you around her. So I'm sure if you talk to Scott at Dolphin Haven Boatyard, he would probably let you keep the mooring, I would think. I don't know. You'd have to talk to him about that. But there she is. She's a 1981 Princess yacht running Ford Mermaids 180s, turboed. And I've done quite a lot of mechanical work on her. Those of you who follow my site will know she's been well looked after, but she is very tired inside and does need a refit really. But anyway, I'll show you around. So on the stern here we've got a dinghy which will be going with the boat, and there's an outboard that goes with that. That hasn't been run for quite a while, so because I've been away living in Greece, but it'll probably only need a bit of a clean out. And I mean, little outboards aren't expensive, but the boat rows really nicely. That's why I've kept it. Would be more practical to have an inflatable really. So going into the cockpit, oh there we go. The upholstery was probably done in 1981. The backrests are in reasonable serviceable condition, but both those could do replacing really. Everything you see here will be going with the boat really. There's a huge lazarette locker down there. Those of you who know these boats, on the 41 that's the bedroom on the back of the 41, but on the 38 it's a locker, and I use it as a workshop. It's got all my tools in, which is why Sovereign Bay sits a little stern heavy. Now if you follow my videos, you will see a while back now I fitted a Chinese diesel heater, which is in there all wired up and piped into the original heating system, which was an Eberspatcher. Now I left the original Eberspatcher in, which is why that's in that locker, just in case I sold the boat at any point and somebody wanted to keep the Eberspatcher. I actually think the Chinese one's probably more reliable and a better option. So what else we got out here? Let's have a look. Okay, well we're up on the flybridge now. I'm hoping that the wind isn't too bad that you can't hear me. Under there you got the usual instrumentation, 2 Morse controls, obviously your steering wheel, rev counters, oil pressure and water temperature, and the auto helm can also be used from up here. I've got a little GPS system that I clip in there, which I'll leave with the boat, which puts up a chart for you. Completely independent of the boat really, just plug it into a cigarette lighter plug that's there. The trim on the upstairs, well, this is serviceable, but I was going to recover it. There's a load of flies under there, look, because we're in the middle of, just come out of winter. This back seat here, the plywood went on the bottom of it, which meant the back fell off. So I've left it like that because I was going to actually put a table there and move the seating around where the fenders are. Of course, these are the fenders that I use when I go out. They're a bit posher than the ones that are on the boat at the moment. They'll all stay with the boat. Pretty much everything you see, as I've said before. She's got a radar, which you can see there. Spare fishing rod, which I'll probably leave. So yeah, that's the flybridge. So let's go inside, see what you got in there. Well, that's a bit better. So you probably can hear me now. So yeah, you've got a lovely little area out there, which, trust me, I've sat out there many a time with a bottle of wine, chatting away with my friends. And also, if you've got friends that smoke, that means they can go outside and have a cigarette. So I mentioned the diesel heater a minute ago. So there's the control for it, and as I said, there's the air dispatcher. Now I've disconnected the air dispatcher electrics so it can't be switched on accidentally. The phone, there's a story there. This boat came originally from Brighton Marina. 3 years ago I brought it now, and the people who owned this boat were like me. They lived aboard it, and it was hardwired into all the liveaboards. They had hardwired phone lines, so that's what the phone's there for. I just left it there because it's a bit of history of the boat. Unfortunately, the person I brought the boat off, the husband died the month that I brought it, and she was suffering with dementia. So I don't know whatever happened, whatever became of her, but I have got all the paperwork going right the way back to its first registration, and all the documentation from Princess Yachts telling you where everything is, which is quite unusual. There's manuals, all sorts of stuff, and like I say, I'll be just walking off her. Now, in here, I've just updated them. There's a fire extinguisher there and one there. There's two old ones out there, but I left them there because they probably work. But there's a new one there. There's a sound surround system for the telly, which I'll leave because I can't take it to Greece. Unfortunately, the telly I've had to borrow, mine started playing up. It still works. It's in the spare bedroom, but it was playing up at times. So a friend of mine lent me that. Now, there should be seating there. I still have that. It's in the workshop. So that will be going with the boat. So you could reinstate the seat in there quite easily. Just needs the back screwing up. And the front's just, the bottom's just a bench seating like we've got here. Exactly the same as this. So yeah, you could have extra seats there. The table is not to everybody's taste. If you don't want it, I'll take it with me and get it shipped out to Greece, but other than that, it can stay with the boat. That heater, I only use it for the flame effect. The actual fan heater doesn't really work on it, but I just thought it was made it a bit more cozy. Down here, as you can see, is the downstairs station. With all your usual gauges, all the 12-volt switchgear is on that panel there. There's two bilge pumps, midships and engine room, and the kill buttons. The auto helm, which was fitted from the factory as far as I'm aware, depth anchor drag and depth finder, radar, GPS, and another fish finder depth plotter there. There's also a Navtex, which I've never got working. I'm not really that interested in it, to be honest, but it fires up. I just couldn't get it to load the paper. Windscreen wipers. Both these motors here work. That one does work with a bit of help from a pair of mole grips. It needs freeing off, the actual spindle's seized up, but I'm sure with a bit of perseverance and some WD, I may even do that before I go back to Greece. But all the windscreen wiper arms and blades needed replacing, so I've taken them off for the moment. My advice there, having spent 40 odd years in the motor trade, is go around a classic car show and you'll find exactly the same wiper arms and blades at a tenth of the price probably. so that's the living area. You've got your 240 volt, which is there, which is pretty standard fitting on these princesses. Go down into the galley. There you go. There's your RCD units for the 240, which work perfectly at the moment. I found out over the winter I ran out of diesel and had two heaters running, and when I put the kettle on, it tripped it out, so it obviously still works perfectly well. I fitted a microwave, which will be staying. That was where the up here there used to be a cocktail cabinet in there, so all I did was take the cocktail cabinet out and cut that area out there and put the microwave into that. There's two sinks, as you can see. There's the usual oven that came, Magic Chef, that came with the princesses of the era. Could do with a bit of a clean actually, but it works perfectly well. I've cooked Sunday dinners and all sorts on it. 4-burner hob and a 3-way gas fridge with a little freezer. That could do with updating really. It works. I've took the gas off because I don't like gas on boats. really. I have to cook on it, so, but I didn't see the point in having the fridge working off it. There is a little twin tub washing machine there, which I just chuck in the shower because the hot water's obviously in there, and that'll do a pair of jeans and a t-shirt or whatever. Runs on the mains though. LPG alarm. Then you've got the CO2, carbon monoxide, sorry. And then up there you can see a little bracket. I'm just replacing the battery for the smoke alarms. Usual 12 volt stereo there, which could do with updating really. Right, so we'll move along to the port side in here. Those of you who are not familiar with them, the day heads with a shower, which works really well. There's the mixer tap for it. You've got a sink and a toilet, all in fully functioning order. Which brings me to another point. Those of you who watch my videos will know I've just replaced the slop tank pump, which empties the shower and the sinks in the heads. That wasn't cheap either. That was over nearly 200 quid for a gulper. Anyway, that's all brand new and being refitted. While I was there, I moved all the wiring around. Now this is a spare bedroom, I call it. So you got 2 bunk beds, one there, and yes, I live aboard, one there. There's the old telly, that can stay. Like I say, the one that you saw a friend of mine lent me, that will have to go back to him. But yeah, there's a bed under there and lockers for putting storage and stuff. I've got life jackets, things like that in there. Hanging for my wet gear and coats, things like that. And a hanging locker. And shelving along there. I keep all my cassettes and CDs and things on there. So that's the spare bedroom. Then right up in the bow is the master owner's cabin, as they call it. Behind that mirror is your anchor chain. There's 100 foot of anchor chain and a good anchor. Should have probably shown you that actually when I was outside. Hanging locker there. Large mirror there. Extinguisher. And more storage there. You can walk around the bed just about, which makes it easier to make, I have to say. Then in here we've got another shower, which is the one I tend to use really. Very good, works fantastic, better than the showers at the facilities here, I have to say. And a sink. So there you go. What else can I tell you about her? Well, she's got a generator, a little Honda generator, which the pull cord broke on it. And as you can see, I've purchased a new one, haven't got round to fitting it. Now, you're probably thinking, well, there's a lot of things he hasn't done yet. There's a good reason for that. Those of you who watch the site will know that I live in Greece and I come back here to work. Which means that when I come back, I'm busy working. I don't get much chance these days, unless it's serious, to work on Sovereign Bay. Though, like I say, I did replace the gulper pump. I've rebuilt one of the gearboxes because the clutch went. So I took it apart and completely rebuilt the port side gearbox. I've done all the fuel filters. Haven't changed the oil yet this year. She didn't do a lot of... I changed it last year, mid-year, and I only went to Torquay and back. So I decided it would probably be fine over the winter. I changed the antifreeze in the... starboard engine, yeah, because I had a problem with a polythene bag getting trapped in there, so I had all the impellers apart and replaced those and changed the antifreeze while I was there. She's just had a 50 litre hot water tank with an immersion fitted. I haven't piped it to the engine yet, although the pipe work's there ready to go. Pretty much this boat is ready to move on and live on, really. I should just be walking off it, and like I say, anything that the new owners don't want, I will take if I have to, but you know, obviously moving to Greece, I won't want to be taking a lot of stuff, will I? So there you go. Let's see if we can just get a picture. There's 2 anchors on there. Those of you who know your anchors will probably recognise those. Let's see, there we go. There you go. I've used the anchors quite a lot, and the one that's on there at the moment that came with the boat in 1981, as far as I'm aware, works very well. So Why am I selling her? Well, as I said earlier, I'm setting up to retire to Greece. At the moment, I live out there just to keep my residency, and I come back here to work. And well, I'm not spending enough time on the boat. Up until last year, I spent an incredible amount of time working on this, because when I got her, she was in a bit of a state, and I did quite a bit of work on her. She has a current survey as well. That was only done when I brought her, so just coming up on 3 years ago now. And I ticked off pretty much all the things that came up on the survey were done. She had new seacocks, new skin fittings. That was all in the survey. I changed all the fire extinguishers. I can't remember all the stuff now. You'll have to inbox me and I'll give you more details. So yeah, I've been told to stick her on at 46, 47 grand. I'm open to offers. I'm not in any rush to sell it, so I don't expect, you don't expect to ring me up and say, we'll have her, but we're going to give you 5 grand for it. That ain't going to happen. I'm not giving it away, because for the moment she makes a very nice home when I come back to the UK. But I thought I'd stick it up and see what happens. If somebody wants it for the right money, then I'll let it go. Or if you've got a boat of a similar size, or maybe a bit bigger even, out in Greece, I'd probably do an exchange. See how that goes. So that's the boat. Sad times really, but I'm moving forwards, and those of you who know me will know that I will get something else. It was a bit of a dream to own this boat, to be honest, but there you go. Good sea boat. I've been out a few times on her, and yeah, she handles everything I've done pretty well, really. If you stumbled across me and you like the channel, please subscribe, hit like and share, because that will help. Thanks for watching, and like I say, you can leave your comments below, and there's all sorts of ways of getting hold of me if you're interested in buying Sovereign Bay. So from the River Dart, which is just out there, I'll catch you guys later on.